Our project was on college tuition, and there are many problems that are plaguing the United States at the moment, in the economy to just unemployment rates, but college tuition is also a big headache. These are our main points that we're going to make today, but college tuition it's a big turning point in someone's life. Everyone needs some sort of learning, whether it's just high school, but college tuition will make a great difference in your life. Those who go to college will have they have more opportunities. They will make between $600 and $1.3 million on average in more money than anyone who just graduates from high school. Those who go to college have less unemployment. I think it was about 3.4 instead of the 6.8 from just college and from just high school. Those who go will also have more secure jobs. Those will not be taken as easily as if you were less educated. Although there are cons to going to college, as everyone knows, it costs a lot of money, about $100,000. But the FAFSA and other sources can help you pay for this. The average annual earnings is, as I said, a lot more if you go to college. But this is hard to do because of the cost to go into it. The FAFSA assists you a lot because the net tuition is a lot of money, between $36,000 on average, and it can range between, I think, $10,000 because of public schools, and about $50,000 or $60,000 for high grade colleges such as like Harvard or another large name. But financial aid will help pay for this. Approximately 2/3 of this is paid by financial aid. About $36 million is actually paid by the FAFSA per year to help college students get through this.
Our first step to learning about college tuition and getting some information on it was we decided to interview this man, Patrick Headley, who is the Vice President of Business Affairs and Treasurer here at Mount Union. We went into the interview not knowing what to expect. He was very informative, very honest with his answers. It enlightened us about not only college tuition in Ohio, but also throughout the country. His first major point was that it is a national crisis, not just a statewide crisis, but there are issues in Ohio that deal with college tuition. The first thing he kind of talked about was there's actually two kinds of college tuition prices. There's a net price and a gross price. Gross price is what you get at what they market it at. I think Mount's gross price is around $37,000, maybe it's a little over that now, a year. And he said the net price is what you actually pay once you get financial aid and grants and scholarships and stuff. And he says because of that, some schools can lower tuition and half lie. He mentioned Ashland. Ashland, if you all don't know, recently lowered tuition from about $40,000 to $29,000. Well, when they do that, they actually cut financial aid too. So whereas at the $40,000 price, you get $20,000 worth of financial aid, you're still paying $20,000 to go to school there. When they cut it back to $29,000, you only get $9,000 of financial aid now. Either way, you're still paying $20,000. It just looks like they're lowering tuition prices. He also talked about that the average tuition rate that increases in the country is about 5 to 6% per year. At Mount, it's only 3 to 4%. So Mount is actually behind or below the national average in increasing tuition prices. The reason for a lot of these inflation or these tuition prices is inflation. You know, the economy's not very good. Inflation's going up. Everything, prices are increasing by everything from gas to food, all kinds of stuff like that. College tuition is no exception. It does go up with inflation, and colleges also have to cover the cost of business. A lot of colleges like Mount, a lot of stuff at Mount is new, so Mount Union, they have to cover the cost of new buildings, stuff like that. They have to upkeep, maintain stuff, new technologies. They have to pay for all that stuff. as you know, it does present a lot of problems. There are ways to fix these problems, but they're not easy. The Congress and the President want people to go to college. They want people to be educated because they're afraid that we're falling behind some other countries like China, some of the other Asian countries. I think Finland's one of them, really high in education. But it's really hard for Congress to regulate college tuition prices because there's so many colleges and so many different ways to get financial aid. And it's especially hard for them to regulate the private sector because they do not get a whole lot of federal funding at all. A lot of it's, privately generated funds. And so they have tried to create a lot of programs to help students get through college. When they do this, they have a lot of programs that help low-income families and some programs that can help out high-income families, but the middle class kind of gets left out. So there's kind of a gap there. And most college students come from middle-class backgrounds, especially in Ohio. This has led to what is called a demographics change. In Ohio, less and less students are going to college because they feel that it's too expensive. Instead of going to college, they're just getting jobs right out of high school, or they're going to trade schools or two-year schools. So there actually is a decrease in the student population in Ohio that go to public schools and private schools, four-year public and private schools.
Next, one thing that Mr. Headley was very helpful with was breaking down these different graphs and charts. And first we're going to take a look at this one. It deals with the expenses. So after we put our money into the university, what it gets turned back into. First is the salary and benefits for 59%, so a big majority. And that's going to all the professors and anyone that is employed by the non-union. Next is the departmental, which is the education. So your music, your education, your business, your music, those different departments, and also like sports here. So obviously going back into the big one would probably be the football team. Next would be the maintenance, utility, and capital, which is 12%. And this is just basically maintaining everything you see, the campus, the buildings, which keeps it a clean and beautiful place to go to school. Finally be the auxiliary, which comes in at 14%. And this is like the backbone. This is our extra storage. This is the extra money that we keep on stock for anything to happen, and just because that's really what we need to have in the back. Okay, this chart next breaks down the public and private institutions, as you can see. So this is starting out in the early 80s, and it goes to the recent 2010s. As you can see, tuition just keeps rising each decade, and will continue to. And then finally, as we wrap up here, college tuition is increasing at a terrifying rate. I hope that the charts and graphs that we showed you here today can kind of break it down and make it easier for you guys to understand. And with us being students of higher education, it will be very interesting to see how our country and the government deals with this. So I want to thank you for your time here today, and we will be ready to answer any questions you have.
Before this though, we wanted to go over the snags and a few things that happened during our project, such as just meeting. It was very difficult to just get times when everyone was just free. Oftentimes we had to do this during Tuesday or Thursday mornings when no one had class or activities that everyone was going to.
At like 10:30 at night.
Yeah. Our main problem though, getting this interview, we had to go through a few sources just to figure out who we need to actually get to. That would be very good to interview for this. Who had the right information, who would know what they're talking about. And Patrick Headley was definitely the idea too.
Once we got the information from him, we did decide to make the brochures, which we passed out to all of you guys. And we also passed them out at dinner one night. If you look, I think it's the first left column, I think there's a link to a petition in there that Connor put in there that you can sign that helps deal with lowering of college tuition. And I want to think that maybe the brochures did their job, but I'm not sure if when we passed them out, if the people actually read them or if they just decided to throw them away.
questions?
Anybody have any questions?